YouTube? Catman Awesome 9 here with the first upload in like, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 months, I think. So, anyway, I've been out of the game for a while, decided to come back, and I found Ultra Athletes. Oh my god, are they beautiful. I do have to say, before I get started, that this might be a little bit of a longer video. I'm going to try and keep it short. So, but there'll be stuff I'm going to talk about at the end about my channel, so if you want to hear about that, I'd like it if you guys stay all the way to the end, and let me know some few things that I'm going to ask you guys about. But I'm going to go ahead and start it with Ultra Athletes and how silly these things are, and how amazing they are, and how broken they can be. I'm just going to touch over like the most important parts real quick, because I don't have a lot of time. So, first of all, your deck, you're on 3 Goalkeeper, 3 Mighty Slugger, 3 Perfect Ace, 3 Midfielder, 1 Geki, 3 Rhoda, 1 Dark Hole, 2 Feast the Wild, 3 Upstart Goblin, 3 Terraforming, 3 Monarch Storm 4, 3 Powered Jersey, 3 Stadiums, Bottomless, Torrential, Compulse, Warning, and these can be changed out for any 2 trap cards, any 2 cards in the game really. You can even play MST over them. I don't care. I only play this card because it's on Dev Pro and I like it. So, real quick talk about how this deck works. Basically, each Ultra Athlete can be special summoned by bouncing an Ultra Athlete of a different name back to your hand. They have now a level 4, so they can normal summon without having to use one of these guys to start, which is hard. And each one has their own special effects. So, like on some of them are only on your opponent's turn, like Goalkeeper and Perfect Ace. So, Goalkeeper can protect any monster you control, and from being destroyed by battle or card effects once that turn. Is 28 butt. It's pretty amazing. Mighty Slugger is a 23 beater. If he attacks, opponent can activate cards or card effects till the end of the damage step. It's pretty amazing. Perfect Ace, discard a card on your opponent's turn, negate a card's activation. It's pretty awesome. And Midfielder lets you target another UA you control and change it out for another UA monster from your hand with a different name from that monster. So, basically, the idea behind this deck is that you have 15 different cards in this deck, and that makes it more consistent. Now, in deck theory, this works very well, but in practice, it can be kind of clunky because, like I said, you can open with 2 Terraformings, a Rhoda, and all this stuff, but even when you open, as long as you open with a Rhoda or a Midfielder with a Terraforming, you have so many plays. I just realized I haven't really touched on why that's so important. Well, first of all, let's talk about the field spell. If UA monsters are normal summoned to your side of the field, add a UA monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, if UA monster is special summoned, all monsters you control gain 500 attack, whether they're UAs or not, and that's a permanent attack gain. So you can constantly pump up, say, a Perfect Ace. You can keep Perfect Ace on board and end up with a 3k Perfect Ace in 3 turns. Which sounds wrong, but that's how this deck works. Mighty Slugger, he's a constant bounce. You're always bouncing him, and you can always search for him because UA is any Ultra Athlete. So this searches for the level 4, and the level 4 searches for the other 9. Powered Jersey is an equip spell. You can equip more than one, that's something that you have to keep in mind. You can only equip 2 UA. It gains 1,000 attack and defense. If it battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage inflicts to your opponent is doubled. If the equipped monster destroys a monster by its attack, and you can make a second attack during this battle phase. During your standby phase, banish the equipped monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster returned to the hand, you can return this card to the hand. Now, it's notable that if it doesn't matter if it's by their effect or by an external effect, so say a Compulse or a Pleiades effect bounces them to their hand, you get the Power Jersey back no matter what. It does become crucial sometimes because you'll see people who will make huge mistakes and they'll wait till you equip Power Jersey to compulse you and you end up going neg nothing. Granted, you would have went neg nothing anyway. Not a big deal, but it's kind of funny. Because they'll think, oh, well, I got rid of his equip spell too, and then it'll go back in your hand and they're like, oh. So the major point of this deck is how quickly it can snowball and how easily it becomes very consistent. You can deck thin 5 cards very easily in 1 turn, and that only goes faster and faster as the game progresses, and you can keep 1 monster on the board all the time and keep pumping it up, making it bigger. I'm just going to go ahead and start showing replays. Like I said, it's a very interesting deck. These replays, I'm only going to show a couple ones that I really like this one and then the one with the perfect hand and a couple others. So here's the mirror, sort of. This guy's not really playing pure perfect athletes. He's playing like a weird battle guard variant because he likes battle guards, I guess. It's more of a level 5 warrior deck what he's playing than what I'm playing. But I just want to show you, I opened with Terraforming, I opened with Midfielder. He opened with MST. Had he not had the Space Typhoon, this game would have went a lot faster. I think an error occurs halfway through this one, so I may not show the whole thing. But, yeah, actually, like I said, there is an error in this one, so I'm just going to kind of let this one go. Instead, I'm going to show you guys the Perfect Hand Ultimate Athletes. This is the definition of a perfect hand in this deck. I want to go ahead and make a shout out to, what's this guy's name? Joe Shab Joey Joe Shab. Joe Sab, whatever. This guy is playing a really cool hero Blue Eyes deck. I really do like Blue Eyes heroes. I just never really got to really playing them a lot. And he has a very interesting build where he runs like Shining and all that stuff. So shout out to him for playing a cool deck. As you can see here, I essentially open with everything I need except I can't put these on the board, and top deck Eroda. So I opened with one of each Ultra Athlete card. You really can't ask for a better hand than this, because then Stadium is just a free search for anything that you want. I got another Perfect Ace personally because I like Perfect Ace. Right here, he makes a kind of a misplay in waiting to activate that, because he didn't realize what was going to happen until he went, oh, I can't activate anything, and he's going to get 2 attacks, and I lose this game if he attacks. So here he just sets them both up in defense to save himself the damage, because he would have taken like 1,600 damage, or about 3k damage had he left him up. So, you know, and then I get my things back in my hand. So I lost no cards that turn, and I played 3 cards. So I'm just saying, and he plays Blaze Man. And here's where he loses, because he scoops, because I negate Blaze Man's effect, destroy it. So, again, this deck, unreal consistency when you open, or unreal consistency, that can happen a lot more frequently than you'd think. I'm going to do Hunders and Nekloths, because I think that those are the most interesting games I got. This Hunter game is pretty good. Very well played from both sides. As you can see here, I opened with double Rhoda and the UA. That's something, like I said, you can open like that. So in my deck now, I have a dead Rhoda. There's no way I'm going to get to that dead Rhoda by the end of the game. There's such a low chance of drawing it, because it's a 1 in 35 chance, or a 1 in 33 chance I'm going to draw that, as opposed to all the other cards. That's the beauty of this deck, is that the more you play it, the more consistent it becomes. It does, like I said, it snowballs and compacts and compounds itself to become like a big thing. Here, it's kind of sad I had to waste Dark Hole, but didn't really matter, because as you can see here, I go off really hard. I shouldn't have searched Slugger here. I honestly shouldn't have went for the damage. I should have went for the Perfect Ace. It would have been a much better play, but I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm going hard. I'm going to win this. I didn't know he was playing Hunters at this point until right here, where he top decks Upstart and he draws into Paw Hunter, and I went, oh, it's Hunter family. Well, I hope he doesn't have a Prism. Well, he has Prism. And then he dropped the Blader, and I had to, unfortunately, I did have to take the 38 to the face just so I can make plays again, but it really didn't matter, because I had the Stormforth in my hand, and I just had to wait for my turn where I could actually use it. I draw the Power Jersey here. This card is just so big. It's just so insane. And like you see here, his back row is all attack-based back row pretty much. So, you know, anything he has to stop me, it doesn't really work, just because Mighty Slugger makes it so it doesn't matter. You can't stop my Mighty Slugger. He does damage over your shit. It's hilarious. And that's something that I really do love about this deck, is just how efficiently it can just tear you apart. Just watching Mighty Slugger go in and do whatever he wants is insane. Like, here I would have had it would have been 500 more attack if I would have been able to play a little bit better, but that's okay. It's better to have done that than to have to sit around and wait for him to kill me with Crimson Blader. So, like I said, the deck does still have its weaknesses, but those weaknesses are so negligible in comparison to its strengths that, I mean, like here he tries to bait the negate with a Space Typhoon. I let it go because I'm like, I don't really care. I have game next turn anyway, and I have to stop this. And then he loses because Short Circuit's no good because he's got no Battery Min. He's got nothing but Prism. He has to set Prism. And here's where I win the game, because I just go Normal Sun Midfielder, bounce Midfielder for Slugger. Or no, do I Stormforth him? Oh, I just Stormforth him. Never mind. And I equip. Yep, swing in. That's game. Granted, I didn't even have to equip it, but I just wanted to. So, you know, that's what this deck does most of the time. It's very consistently this way, and here it is against Nekloths. I just wanted to show this because I know that Nekloths are pretty favored right now. In my opinion, they're just like Moe DT monsters, and I love every single thing about them, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to afford to play this deck, because I feel like it's going to be a very expensive deck when it comes out, and I'm not going to have any money for it, so I probably won't end up playing it, even though I want to. Very interesting deck. It's a very well-made ritual deck, and I think it's probably the best ritual deck to ever be created, just because the ritual monsters all have effects that allow them to be actually used for more than just ritual summoning. That was, I think, the big weakness of a lot of ritual decks before this. And granted, he bricked a little bit. He didn't open very well, but still, he got this. I think that he could have done a lot better. But as you can see here, this is what the deck has to do in order to go for a level 7 or level 7 ritual, which is pretty crazy. I mean, you got to go this deep, this much cycling, just to get out the Gungnir, and then he has nothing to pitch, so he can't destroy anything. And I just Battle Guard Howling. Granted, I think what he was afraid of was something like a Lance, not a Battle Guard Howling, or a D-Prison or something. But see how he takes the damage. So I mean, it pretty much set me up to win this game. I respected this guy for sitting out for as long as he did. He does end up scooping because he looks at the board and just goes, I don't want to deal with that, but he at least sat it out up till I got to battle phase, and he realized what was about to happen because he figured out the perfect ace loop was coming. Anyway, so this has been my Ultimate Athletes deck. Like I said, there's lots of things you can change about the deck. These are open to be anything. You could change these out for Space Typhoons. You don't have to have an extra deck at all. I never use it. It's just kind of there if I need it. So, a very versatile deck, very snowball heavy, very, very cool. Definitely one of my new favorite archetypes. I'm building this deck as soon as I can. It's very budget, it's very affordable, very fun. I suggest anybody who just wants to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Check this deck out. It's very worth your time. It's very simply, it's mechanically it can get quite complex, but most of the time it's very simple because you're just bouncing things for the same things. So, you know, it's a good beginner deck. It's good fun to learn. Anyway, on a side note, for anybody who's still watching this about my channel, as I've gotten finally a good recording software, I'm using OBS right now to record videos, I can now do video game playthroughs. And on my PC, I have Steam, and I've got like 41 or so games. I have both Binding of Isaac games. I've got all the Half-Life games. I've got all the Portal stuff. I can play any of those games for you. Considering that I may get a hardwire here soon, as soon as I get a hardwire hooked up with my internet, I can start streaming. So I look forward to doing that. And like I said, if you guys want to see anything, comment section below this video, go up into my inbox, drop me a message, tell me what you want me to do, and I'll start doing playthroughs. Like I said, I honestly haven't played very much of Half-Life. I think I played like 80 minutes of Half-Life 1, so it would be a fun journey, I think, for us to go through all of Half-Life 1, 2, and then episodes 1 and 2. I know it's an older game, and a new playthrough is kind of silly of it, but I've never seen them all the way through, so... or even just doing some Binding of Isaac runs until I die and see how that goes, like play for an hour, or like 20 minutes of Binding of Isaac and upload it in episodes. So, you know, anyway, that's my plan for my channel. Whatever you guys want to see, let me know. CatmanAwesome9, aka Fitch098 on everything but this, signing out.